Kamil.
Good day, Treb.
How are you doing in this morning?
I am perfect. How are you?
I am doing very well, and thank you. And Rochelle, how are you doing this evening? Yes. I know that you have many ideas and questions that you wish to share, so whenever you are ready to begin, you may.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
The thing that excites me the most is the ability to create one's own reality. So my opening question for you is, if you know that it is possible to create one's own reality, can you give us a nutshell description of, if you will, a recipe, step-by-step recipe of how to create one's own reality?
Yes. The most simple idea within the aspects of being able to build your own reality and your own consciousness, all of the greatest details from non-physical to physical, the consciousness mechanics, if you will, the vibrational attunement, connecting from one area of consciousness into the next. All of these things are very great and very detailed. So I will express an idea of manifestation from one step to the next. The very first is to order your beliefs around what you wish to create within your reality. For instance, if you wish to have an existence in which you are very powerful or very rich within a financial way, then your belief system is not going to be centered around the ideas of working for money. Very few are making huge money. You will have very wide open beliefs about ability to make money, ability to be able to manifest the financial issues within your own existence. And the second idea within this belief system, the ideas, the thoughts, the momentary pursuit of vibration, the consciousness being projected, all of this is a very clear state of being aware. And within this awareness, you must have a great understanding that every thought that enters your mind is a play within this creation, is a driving force, if you will, of this creative moment. So becoming aware of all of the thoughts, all of the desires, all of your vibrational frequency, your balance of emotional complexities, all of this must be centered into an idea of continual awareness of all thoughts, diverting thoughts as if they are being in a negative way back into a positive existence, only placing yourself within ideas that are highly vibrational for you and very connected to what your beliefs are. And the third step is to act upon all of these great joys and thought processes within the idea of being abundant in a financial money way, the idea of your beliefs being that it is easy, the thoughts being that I wish to do this to do a financial making or a gaining, and then acting upon this love that you have for the idea of gaining more money, the simplicity of the ideas of actions that you take during all of this excitement to build towards this excitement, the steps that you are making to act upon all of these ideas that you are now fluently aware of. These are the three basic ideas of steps to creating your own reality in all aspects. Many humans tend to overcomplicate these ideas, saying that I must have this done at this time with this state and co-create with this entity, but this is not truly matter in the idea of overall manifestation.
Okay, and what part does imagination play in this process?
Imagination is the second step. It is the one in which you are aware of these thoughts. It is an act of a non-physical way. Into the third step, you are making an act upon your love about your vibration raising. All of these things that are exciting you in thought process, you are acting them out in a non-physical way. You are letting them play and manifest and take on their own reality in a non-physical state. Therefore, it is easier to attach a physical state to this. So it is at the end of the second step and the beginning of the third.
Mm-hmm. And when I am imagining my future, some people say that it is very important to give as much detail as possible. And there is another point of view that says that detail is not that important. What you feel is more important. What do you think about it?
This is going to be specifically around your own belief system on this. If you believe that intricate details will assist you greatly, then it will. But if you believe the idea of feeling these emotions and the excitement within, then it will. The belief system, again, as step one, is what you say, the basis around all of steps 2 and 3. Nothing can go outside of step 1 from point 2 and 3. So it must be a belief system within your own that is the true restriction of step 2 and 3.
Mm-hmm. I see. The belief is like a foundation for the rest of the process.
Yes, if you have things that are outside of this belief, you will not be able to experience this. So the belief is the actual foundation of the building that you are building within your own consciousness. So make sure that it is a great enough size to be able to experience many great things.
Mm-hmm. And the last step, if you will, is to physically act out what you want to experience. And I think you have to be, if you wish to act out and the situation does not allow fully to act out, for example, financial abundance, you can't buy a castle at this moment, but you have to act out to the best of your ability right now. Is it correct?
Yes, this is one way to see this idea, but another way is to take the things in which you can act out. For instance, if you are not able to buy this castle, but you wish to buy this, and this is part of the manifestation, then acting upon the love of this castle does not only include the purchasing of this castle. There is a designing of this castle, there is a structuring of this castle, there is a placing furniture within this, there is also very many steps for financial to gain this, to do this. So enjoy all of these steps and act upon all of these steps. And this is the greatest bridge from step 2 to 3 to reality.
Thank you.
Yes.
My next question, you mentioned thoughts, and I wanted to ask you about thoughts. My opinion about thoughts is that there are two, at least in a human being, there are two kinds of thoughts. One is when I talk to myself within my mind, and I call it mental chatter. And another thing is an instant awareness, like a impulse of information. It could be an image, it could be an awareness. This is a deeper level of thought. How would you describe, what is your definition of a thought, and what do you think about these two levels of thinking within humans?
Yes, this is very correct. These two separate levels. The first level that you speak of is directly connected to the computerized brain. Also, within the very ego side of your own self, not always ego-driven, but more egotistical version of the human entity who resides in a physical realm. But the second step of this, the second level, if you will, is what you say to be downloads or direct connection to higher self. These inspiration, these great awakenings, great instant understandings, and the great ability to manifest creativity. This is what is coming truly from the higher self, from the portion of you that is above the physical level that you are within. So there is two different ideas. Many of the brain thoughts, or what you say the chatter is, from the first level, many of this is coming from ego, or basically functioning in a day-to-day status that many humans have grown very used to. And this is what we would say to be living in the ego, or living in the third density style of existence. And the next step, the second, is very much different. It is the higher self, or the fourth density version of a human.
Okay. When I think about a thought, again, I have two different notions of it as if a distant observer looks at a human when he's thinking, one version is that a thought is like a radio signal coming out of a human, and if you are not present at the moment of this radio signal, you essentially lose it because it goes out in the ether and goes away, like from a radio tower. A signal comes away, and if you're not present at the moment of the signal coming out, you don't hear it. And another concept to a human thought is that a human creates a thought as if a human creates a being. A thought becomes a living thing, and it can revolve around a human. What do you think about these two concepts?
Yes, the first has very great validity of the idea in which most humans pay attention to these thoughts. It is as if they are drifting away, not being able to be reconnected, drifting back out into the sea or out into this atmosphere of signals. But this is not truly the state of thought process. The thought that comes out is a conscious exertion, a conscious manifestation, a conscious intent to create. And even if it seems to be a very fleeting and small thought that processes outward, the connection that you have within this can be very strong. Humans can find what the true nature of a thought is through an exercise of following this thought, by letting this thought leave and then following it to its rounded conclusion. Many entities have created their own separate societies, their own separate realities of this thought. They are co-creating many variations of consciousness and many variations of reality by thinking alone. These thoughts are going out and manifesting into a reality of their own kind. So it is not that they are necessarily encircling this human. There are some that tend to string and connect back to the human more strongly. These are the thoughts that you remember something that has happened great periods ago. This thought is literally brought back to you or is tied to you, and you reconceive this again. But many of them are creating their own existences. So if you are focusing upon this very greatly and follow this thought to the logical conclusion, you will be able to learn to do this backwards. And this is a very great tool to use to be able to distinguish the difference between one consciousness or the next. For instance, many humans tend to not trust within their own mind, so they are sitting in a meditative state and they are believing that a thought that is coming in has to be their own. It must be their own because they cannot connect to higher self. And this is a way to test this. If you are able to trace a thought from your mind outward, then you will be able to learn to track it backwards. So if you are hearing one idea or one thought process, then you are able to retrace this backwards. And if this thought originates from you, then yes, this voice that is coming to you in a meditative state is directly connected to you. But if it is not traceable in this way, then you will find a most certain idea that it is connected from the higher self to you directly.
It creates an interesting picture. If thoughts are like separate entities, when I think one thought after another in quick succession, I sort of create a string of entities of different color and shape and size, whatever.
Yes, within your own way that you think and create and manifest, you are literally creating societies. You are a very great exception from many humans because of the intricacies of the foreign existences that you create within your own mind, the way that you create societies or different existences or worlds or situations. You have been able to manifest quite literally existences. Now, within these existences that you create, because you are putting effort and thought and meditative state into these, it is not as if they are congealing into a very hard and strong physical world, but the more consciousness that you add to this, the more valid this reality is, and the more probable that it will be to be played out into its entirety. Many of these, once you lose the concentration upon the thought, as it drifts off and creates its own reality, the energy that is put into the system is not strong enough to maintain the system. So it separates itself into various other consciousnesses, coinciding with other similar consciousnesses that have been co-created. So it is no longer an original driving force from your own, but a smaller part of a larger co-creation, or a smaller part of a collective of sorts. But when you are doing it in the magnitude that you are, the amount of time and effort that you put into building these characteristics in these entities, in these worlds they reside upon, then you are truly creating complete societies, giving it its own validity to exist in a reality that is less physical in your mind and less amount of consciousness, but still just as valid as yours.
You mentioned higher self, and I pay much attention. I try to more and more to not try. I reconnect more and more with my higher self, and I respect it very much. It's a part of me, and yet it's a slightly higher above me. And I ask my higher self to sort of like to be like a litmus test, like an inspector of all the ideas that come to me. Sometimes it provides me with a great insight. Sometimes it provides me with advice about just a small feeling about something that says, yes, it's good for you. And what I've noticed about myself as I move in life, I am more and more connected to my higher self, and I like it.
Yes, it is a very great feeling for any entity who is connecting more to themselves. Many entities are doing this in great magnitudes as you speak, connecting to different portions of themselves as they are creating experiences and relationships with other entities, but in their inability to connect well to other entities, in their inability to embrace and to love and to connect fully and not judge these other entities, they are pushing away these parts of their higher self. But since you have been able to embrace this higher self in a more artistic way, and also in connections that you have with lack of judgment for people, this bond becomes more strong. So the greatest advice for any entity that I would give them if they are having in a difficult way is to embrace more relationships, as this is more aspects of your own self, whether it is of a physical nature, a conversational nature, or even an imaginative or a dream state connection to entities.
And I understand that we are parts of each other. I am in my own universe, and you are a part of me now that we have this contact with each other.
Yes.
Okay, something different. They say that emotion is energy in motion, but what is energy? What is your definition of energy?
Energy has very many definitions, but if you were to break it into a specific idea, energy is anything that has consciousness to this, anything that drives, anything that is explosive in nature, anything that has ability to create and to force, to create a force that is very perpetual or pushing forward. This is a great aspect or idea of what energy is.
I thought the same as you, but I didn't think that energy is consciousness. I thought that this is just an ability to do something, to be active. But you added consciousness to energy, so it's
yes.
To me,
The energy that you will have to drive you comes from a consciousness. Everything that you experience in this physical existence is attached to consciousness of one sort or another. Many humans do not see first density beings to be living consciousness, but it is. It is a very highly evolved and very great experience to have a first density consciousness. And even within the energies that are between second and third and fourth density entities with each other or with themselves, every force of this that is within physical is an exertion of the inner self. So all of this is truly consciousness.
Returning to the first question about creating one's own reality, I'd like to share with you that I have intentions to, if you will, break the rules. I intend to be able to grow my own teeth. I intend to keep my body healthy and live to 150 years old. I intend a lot of things. Levitation, for example, I intend to do that. What do you think about it?
Yes, I think that if you are able to be who you truly are to the greatest degree, that all of this is very possible. Some aspects of your own consciousness are less probable to be able to do this, but many of this, the ability to think, the ability to manifest your own creativity, all of these aspects, the idea of non-judgment, all of these are helping you be more of who you are. But expressing this idea that all of these things is a separate vibration in itself, to be able to levitate things, to be able to manifest physical things, this is what you say to be an adventure, perhaps, or something that takes time to do, because you must completely integrate yourself into the vibration of what this is. This is why many entities who wish to be completely in one way of connecting, is in the channeled state or perhaps a psychic state, are doing this very often. They are wishing to do this very quickly, but they are not becoming the vibration that fits this energy, so they are not able to do it quickly. They must grow into that vibration. So if you are focusing complete energy into this and spending all aspects of your consciousness manifesting to mold into this reality, then you will be able to experience this most greatly.
Yes, and I thought about it. I thought about something akin to channeling, and my intention is to become more and more one with my higher self and channel my higher self without being in a semi-conscious state. I want to be fully conscious and talk to people representing my higher self. So it's me and my higher self blending together. And my desire is to show and tell people that, tell humans that they are self-empowered, that they don't have to depend on governments and different entities on their well-being. They can provide for themselves without financial support, for example, from this social security network of the government.
Yes, this is a very great concept, as many humans who are becoming into a stage of enlightenment in their very first or second or third setting of the stages that they're building to connecting to more and what they are putting faith into all other aspects, but not within themselves. And this is a great detriment to all of the entities who are doing this. They are wishing for a religious aspect, or a God, or a Jesus, or a Buddha to save them. They are wishing for an entity such as myself, or such as other channeled sources, or what some call the Galactic Federation of Light. They are looking at all of these entities, and they are hoping that they are willing to save them and to take care of them and to be able to do work within them. But this is not true. All of the power that you are having is coming from within. And when you are able to manifest your own reality, then even the highest living entity in the universe, the highest degree of sixth density physical beings, such as Aridif, cannot even influence your existence, because you are connected truly to what you are. You are the master of your own universe, and you are the driving force within all entities.
Okay. I'd like to take our conversation to a more lighthearted direction. I'd like to talk about humor. What do you think about humor, and does humor manifest in your society? In which way? I love humor, by the way.
Yes, humor is much different to ours. Our society, as it is yours, humor is a very unique thing for your race. It is very different. For our entities, there is a level of humor within being happy and excited. Also, when we are in what you think to be perhaps competitions, or being together and working with each other to bring out the best within ourselves. This brings us the closest idea to what you feel would be an inside laugh. This is a vibrating of the throat sound, and this is the only physical noise that our race will make, is within this laughing state. But it is not truly a laugh as you would see a laugh, but this is a sense of humor to us, to be able to do something, both of us, in a competition of sorts, to bring out the greatness of both of us. And this is a very humorous or great idea. But the longer that I have been around the human race, the more I understand the humor within this, the more that I am able to start to understand the ideas of what is funny and what is not funny. Even though the host does not believe this to a full degree, that I have understood the humor of humans, it is becoming more close to me.
Good for you.
Yes.
Okay. My next question is about the what they call astral level, and I understand this is a level where humans, incarnated humans, go when they are in a dream state, and humans who left their bodies reside. Is that correct?
Yes, within the astral state, this is the sleeping area of consciousness, or a projected aspect, if you can train yourself to do this in a meditative state. Yes.
So if an entity like you, for example, if he or she can enter this astral level, they basically can visit and converse with anybody who is in a sleeping state or in this bodied state. Well, someone who, plainly speaking, died.
Yes, this is in fact how most of us connect to human entities, is through a sleep state or a astral projected, as most type 1 entities do not believe on coming into the physical planet physically, or breaking ourselves to a lower vibration to do this, because the humans are not ready for this. But within the aspect of our density, this is a much higher consciousness than that of the higher fourth density, so it is not fully able to connect to all entities. And the after death areas, the same area that you are speaking of, it is in between the third and fourth density. And as humans are within this area now, this is why more humans will have greater experiences connecting in a waking state to an astral, or connecting to entities who have passed in a waking state, because where the third density astral state used to be is now where you are starting to come into this third to fourth density barrier, or what some entities have called a ghost zone, in between densities. Yes.
Okay. I'd like to share with you one of my childhood dreams, and I had it only 2 times, and it's interesting that I had the only reminiscences, the recollection that I have of that dream is that I saw a star system consisting of maybe 3 to 4 yellow stars, and in my childhood mind I described it as home. I felt nostalgic, and I also said that it is not here, and now I understand that it's like in parallel reality. And I keep returning to this dream, not that I am desperately interested in what it is, but it's interesting. Is it possible for an entity from a parallel reality to enter a human body here in a different reality?
It is possible, but most entities who do this, or all entities who enter another physical body, are of a type 2 nature. This system that you experience, were you able to experience very short humans?
I can't recollect the size of them, and I didn't see them at all. I remember one little detail, and it was about oceans that they had, and the oceans were covered in a type of ice, but the temperature was higher than the freezing temperatures on Earth. And that's the only recollection of a detail that I had. The feeling that I get when I remember it is the feeling of home, of nostalgic nature. But again, I'm not desperate about it. I just shared it with you. I was interested in this kind of transference from of a being from a different parallel reality into a human body. I'm not saying that I am an extraterrestrial. Although I think I'm a strange guy because I'm more introspective. I love being alone and think rather than talk.
Yes, and within this reality, the reason I asked this idea, the short human, is that you are very highly connected to the Nihal energy, which is where our race comes from, which is an ancient race that is now outside of the physical existence. But there is also entity that are connecting to you highly within this dream state, and this is what this is from. I am just not able to experience the actual signature of what type of entity this is without connecting to you in a more deep way.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I think that's all I've got today. My, so to speak, burning questions to an extraterrestrial. It's the first time that I meet anybody from a different planet, and I'd like to thank you for creating this contact, for giving us ability to basically freely communicate with somebody from a different world. Thank you very much, and I wish you and your race all the best.
Yes, thank you for this love and connection, and I wish to express my gratitude for this, and also my excitement with connecting. As you understand, to connect with the humans is just as exciting as you connecting to us. Even though we have experienced it more than you have, it is still very great to see the differences of aspects of the whole overall humanity, feeling and sensation and vibration. And it is very great that you have shared this with us. And with this being said, I will leave you this evening in love and in light, and we will speak or connect to each other soon.
Thank you very much. See you.
Good night.